Get your rub on with Addicted to the Q.
Hello, YouTube world. This is Brad with Addicted to the Q. I am in sunny Florida. Everyone else is stuck in their hometowns, but I've been on vacation at the beach, so I'm pretty excited to be here. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty well. It's chilling off here in Minnesota, so it's not as warm as sunny Florida is. I think I woke up this morning, it was about 35 degrees, but can't complain. I love the winter, probably even more so than I love the summer, so I'm doing all right.
I'm pretty excited the day we get back. It's going to be 80, and then after that, it's going to be like 50s and 60s, and that's my kind of weather. I'm a big fall guy, so before
I'm a summer guy.
Before we get started, what's your name and your team name?
I'm David Ellis, Machete Boys BBQ. I cook with three other teammates that travel the Midwest with me: Kristen Spain, Kevin Codner, and Christine Codner. We've been cooking since about 2017 together, and been pro team for the last few years here.
So what got you started in barbecue?
I think everybody got started in barbecue for the same reason, right? You guys all stay up late watching those barbecue pitmaster destination shows with Darren Worth and Jeff Vanderlinde and Stretch and all the rest of the gang, right? And Joe from Squeal Like a Pig, right? And I was always a cook. I love to cook. I think cooking is a way to bring people together. And I frequently used to barbecue like on Sundays when we used to watch the Vikings lose, which hasn't changed much since then. But I started watching those shows and I started thinking to myself, I could probably beat those guys. And I quickly found out how hard a game this is to play. But yeah, that's where I got started. And I think that story is probably similar across the board.
Yeah, it takes a while for people to realize that cooking in your backyard is not the same as cooking competition barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different ball game, that's for sure. The first thing to learn is that you're not cooking for yourself, and what you like probably isn't the same thing that judges like, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just going to mention a few things about the biggest contest you cooked last weekend. No, the weekend before. Anyways, the American Royal. You cooked the Invitational and the Open, right?
I did. We cooked both days there.
How was the Invitational?
So the Invitational, it had been about 3 weeks since we had cooked that event, or had cooked an event. Our previous contest before that was Vermilion in South Dakota. I think we finished 37th out of 211 teams with a 22nd place chicken. I think that tied for like 13th. A 20th place in ribs, and then our pork fell off down to about 178 there. I definitely made some mistakes there in that box, and then our brisket came in at about 58th, which our brisket was a little bit tight. I think I rushed it a little bit, and that attributed to it being just not the normal product we turned in. But a lot of things that you do from week to week, you kind of forget a little bit, or you rush things, or you make some missteps, and that shows up in your scores on the other side there. So. We had a solid cook, but had lots to take notes on and try and gain that muscle memory back before we headed into the Open on Sunday. So definitely was proud of our efforts, but knew that I had left a lot on the board, so to speak, of where we could have done a little bit better.
So fast forward to Sunday. You want to tell us about how you thought that cook went?
So Sunday was I think Sunday was definitely a better cook. You can see that in the scores. The field's a lot larger and there's a lot more ties. So once you start eliminating some of those ties, you can see that our chicken gained a few points. Our ribs gained a few points as well. I have barbecue data up here just because I'm a data nut, so I'm always looking at that, right? So like our chicken dropped about a half a point. Our ribs dropped about 5 points, but we picked up 10 points on our brisket, and we picked up 7 points. Or we picked up 10 points on our pork, and then we picked up 7 points on our brisket. So, the chicken and ribs dropping, I felt like those were on par, if not better than they were on Saturday. But of course, it's a different change of judges. But those were both above 170, and that's kind of my benchmark for being successful in this game. So, I just try and get things to that point, and then anything after that, I just consider the judges being gracious, or I've really done my job well that day. But overall, there wasn't anything that stuck out in my mind that we could have improved upon, or that we could have done better. I made one small mistake boxing the brisket, which likely cost me a 180 and brisket there, but everything else we were pretty happy with. And heading into awards, I think we expected to at least hear our names once for one of the categories, and then anything else after that was going to be just just luck, so to speak.
So then definitely hear your name called for GC, which after we found out this past week was RGC, but even still, RGC at the Royal is an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. Absolutely. And congratulations to Janky Leg Barbecue. We couldn't have been prouder to share that stage. I've said it on social media, it's a shame that moment was stolen from him, because that's supposed to be a crowning moment in your barbecue career. And I can't ever give that back to Jordan and his family. But I am deeply sympathetic towards them not being able to have that moment there. But at the same time, I've told people in the last few days, after I've calmed down and kind of accepted the lay of the land, that had we been called RGC that night, I would have been just as stoked as winning GC, right? Because we had only cooked the Royal Open last year, and this was only our third or fourth major event, including the Worlds back in August. So, our team's on the right trajectory. We're hitting our marks, and we're cooking at a pretty high level consistently right now. And I think our food's pretty good. So, it's just there's nothing to be disappointed about or ashamed of from our cook or where we finished at all.
No,
Yeah.
And I will say one thing: you and Jordan have both been very good class acts on this whole thing. I definitely am not. I'm glad KCBS got it right and did an audit, but I'm still kind of upset with how it went that night.
Yeah, absolutely right. And one of the conversations I've had is, what would have been the right choice to have made that evening. And to be honest with you, I think as a competitor, we always want to see who wins at the end of the day, because that's just how we end our weekends, right? But I think, had there been a little bit of transparency about what was happening, I think it would have been a tough pill for us to swallow in that moment. But I think we definitely probably would have gotten over it, and we would have celebrated Jordan, maybe at a later date, but we would have celebrated him just as much as if it was the announcement was delayed. But I'm always a guy that wants to get things right, and then move from there, right, and do that first. But I can definitely sympathize with the KCBS and the Royal as to why they went ahead with things the way that they were. But I don't think that was probably the right decision in that moment.
No, but I would have to agree. So, you started in the backyard division, you said, right?
You bet. Isn't that where everybody starts? Well, most people.
Well, I do. But do you think that makes your chicken and rib scores higher than your pork and brisket, considering that's where you started and you cook more of that, or are you pretty balanced now?
I would say that in the beginning, I had pretty good chicken and rib scores. In fact, I think I was hitting on chicken and ribs, and not. I hadn't won a GC in the backyard contest, but I was pretty consistent, right? Consistent enough to win Minnesota Backyard Team of the Year. But when I won Minnesota Backyard Team of the Year, I immediately thought that, oh man, I can cook all four, I can knock it out of the park. Well, what you don't realize is that now you have 4 different proteins that you need to hit, and 4 different marks that you need to make up. And as you introduce those other 2 proteins, there are just things that happen during the cook that throw your timeline off for your chicken and the ribs, so that those start to suffer a little bit. So getting all of that back together again to be able to be successful in the pro is something that you have to work at, right? And luckily for us in this day and age, we have lots of classes and lots of online resources to kind of help to curb that not curb the learning curve, or just shorten that learning curve a little bit, which is nice. But I've always heard about the guys that in the past that the only way they figured that out was just by cooking and by reps, right? And that's just how it goes. But I don't think it makes it any easier jumping from pro our backyard to pro if you've just been nailing your chicken and rib scores consistently.
because that's one thing with Masters. It's with cooking 4 meats. With backyard, you have to nail almost at least one, almost both categories to get a
Yeah.
GC. In Masters, it's more a game of averages. You may not have to get a first place in all 4 categories, but if you get a top 10 in all 4 categories, you're liable to win it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely a game of averages, right? I think I mentioned this earlier. Like, as I progressed through the pro and the years over, every year I try to improve my scores a little bit. I think our averages are somewhere near 172, right? But last year I set a mark at the end of the season. I want my averages across the board to be a 170, because I felt like a 170 was going to give us a pretty solid chance of being in the top 10, no matter where we cooked in the nation. And that we accomplished that, and then we had a little bit of growing pains this year again. But I set the benchmark a little bit higher. I wanted to get to 172, and I think right now, after some rough cooks in Iowa and Wisconsin, I think our chicken average is at 173, our rib average is at 170, our pork's at 172, and our brisket's at 170. So we're pretty close. And with a couple more cooks, we might be able to get to that goal, right? But yeah, it's just it's a game, man. You gotta be able to play the game well, and that you got to know where you can afford to take a little bit of a loss or a little bit of an L, so that you can pick it up on the back end, right? Lots of guys can cook chicken and ribs, and if you can finish strong with pork and brisket, that can kind of make up some ground for you if you slipped on the first 2.
So, did you get the Jack draw? Are you going to the Jack this weekend, or did you?
No, I did not. I did not get the Jack draw. So last year we were fortunate enough to win the two grand championships in Iowa 1 week apart, or a week and a half apart, which was awesome. That was our first grand championship. We will forever remember that moment. If anybody's watching this and you haven't been out to Hill City with Bobby Stanfell and Moni and the rest of the crew out there, they put on an awesome contest, and that's where we got our first GC. And then we turned around and GC'd in Vermilion. Well, this year we had to go to Huron, and I think we left 6 points on the board out there, so we ended up finishing 3rd. And it's 2 out of 3 wasn't good enough to get that Jack draw. The B&B Barbecue, a great couple, great couple. They edged us out in Huron, South Dakota. They got that Jack draw, so they're down there cooking in the holler this weekend. But that's how it works. But on the same hand, I have I kind of want to see if I can get that 7 GC mark before the cutoff next year, to see if I can get back to the Jack or get to the Jack for the first time to cook it. So it's going to take some work and some determination, but I think we can get it done.
Get you something to strive for.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's no shortage of ribbons and trophies behind you anyway, so.
Most of those, so I keep a lot of the smaller ribbons and trophies here. We have quite the display built up at Smokestack Barbecue Supply Store, who's probably one of our sponsors. That's been sponsoring the team for the last few years, and he gets to keep a lot of the cool ones, and we bring our first place ones and such up there. But we've got some cool ones that I've got hanging out here in the office, which is pretty cool.
So let's kind of switch gears a little bit. You have a YouTube channel yourself. What made you decide to start one of those? And tell us about that journey.
Yeah, so you can catch us on YouTube at MacheteBoysBBQ.com. My relationship with Smokestack Barbecue Supply Store started because he opened a store and he asked if I would be interested in turkey cooking or teaching a turkey class on how to teach to pretty much cook a full Thanksgiving dinner. And I figured out through that I really have a passion for teaching and sharing the little bit of knowledge that I do have in the barbecue world, and sharing my mishaps and where I've found pitfalls. And while cooking those classes at the store is great, I felt like I had something that I could offer the world and reach a larger audience. So I started the channel with the intention of sharing more of my barbecue knowledge with a broader audience. And unfortunately, with competition season, my productivity there has slowed down quite a bit. But I think I'm hoping here in the next few weeks I can get that fired back up again and serve up some things that people can try at home. Really, it's just meant for me to have another way to reach the barbecue community. Same thing with our Facebook page or our Instagram page, just to share our successes and our losses and everything, and just to kind of bring people along on the journey, man. Barbecue is fun. The community is great. It's a great way to get to know new people. It's a great way to get to know your neighbors, right? Like,
Yes.
you're hanging out in your backyard. So
Mhm.
I love everything about it, and encouraging people to get out there and cook and to not be so scared of the fire, and to try something new is really just my motivation behind all of it.
Yeah.
So what kind of smokers do you cook on for competition?
For competition, I am a drum cook, and I'm a drum cook because I've got a small footprint. We only have a 7x12 single axle trailer. It's essentially a motorcycle hauler that we've retrofitted. So we've got like workspaces in there, and we put a mini split on the front of it. And I think the weight capacity is only 22,000 pounds, right? So 4 drums in there, a pop up tent, and a cambro. And I think the generator, if we need it, we're right at that benchmark. So it works well for us. But I also I enjoy the flavors that are off the drum. I enjoy the versatility that a drum can get you. Um, I was previously using 3 Salt City drum smokers, and 1 Gateway. I have moved to all gateways. I think the flavors that the gateways put out and the consistency that you get from a gateway is unparalleled. I know there's lots of drum smokers out there. I haven't tried all of them, but the gateways I've had success with, and I think we're going to try and look this winter to probably purchase our own gateways, because 3 of the ones that I have right now are loaners from barbecue friends that were helping us out. So yeah. What about you guys? What are you guys cooking on?
I cook on homemade drums.
Yep.
Yeah. I cook on anything that is out there. Really.
And what's your
Drum.
favorite?
Honestly, I just killed it. It was an old stick burner that I had, and I need a new firebox or a new smoker, because that's by far my favorite thing to cook on, is just a pure wood stick burner.
Yeah, and I mean those. That's a nostalgia thing. Like, I enjoy a stick burner as well. When I was in backyard, I had a stick burner. I think it was like a Brinkman or something that I had built the apple plates on and built a fire basket, and took this $300 smoker and put like $500 worth of work into it, which made no sense. But I put up some pretty good food on that thing, and I enjoyed tossing sticks in there every half an hour. But that wasn't feasible for traveling any much further than outside the Minnesota state lines. But
No, mine sits by the pool. It's heavy
yeah,
cast iron. No,
nice.
I'll do drums and Weber Smoky Mountains, things like that at competitions, just because those are quick and easy.
Yeah,
But my backyard, that stick burner is my favorite by far.
I like it.
My newest fascination, that is my new toy, is just a Weber kettle. I never had one of those until about 6 months ago, and that thing is my new favorite cooker. You can cook about anything on a good old fashioned Weber kettle.
All right,
Yep.
they're so versatile. They're so awesome. Like, I may ask you guys a question here, and I've asked some other people this before. You get 3 grills, right? What would they be? Like 3 grills, 3 smokers, whatever you want. You only get 3, and your wife said you got to get rid of every other smoker that you got, or significant other. What are they going to be? Who wants to go first?
Okay. I'll just make it easy. I'll do a Fast Eddie Cook Shack, my Weber Smoky Mountain, and my kettle.
I love it.
Kettle, drum, and Weber Smoky Mountain.
Sounds good. And for me, I think for me, it's I've got a new toy that I've been playing with. It's called a New K, which is kind of like a live fire cooking pit, which is really cool. You can do like some Santa Maria style stuff on there. I've cooked a rack of ribs on there, so you can really kind of get that live fire element happening a little bit. I love that thing. Weber kettle is definitely in there, and I think for ease, like I don't care about the brand, but a pellet smoker, just because I can still get some smoke or still get a grill out of it, right? I think I had previously in that list had like my Kamado in there, because I do live in Minnesota and it does get like really cold, and I still am that crazy guy in my backyard cooking food in the wintertime. And that thing is awesome for pizzas, but I think that New K might be edging it out. And I think some of the stuff that I do on the Kamado I could get away with on the Weber kettle, although I have a little bit more of a fire management problem, especially in the wintertime, trying to keep that thing hot. But yeah.
The Fast Eddie Cook Shack is so insulated. It was like 5 degrees outside 2 years ago, and I had that sucker rolling, like all 4 racks just completely filled, going, if I'm going to fire it up, I'm cooking for like 2 weeks.
Oh, really? That's awesome. What is do you have like one of the original Fast Eddies or like a newer one? I'm not familiar. I've seen a couple out on the trail, but
It's a 2017
okay, very
FEC
cool.
100.
Nice. You can get quite a bit of product in there.
Yeah, you can get 16 pork butts.
Oh wow,
Dang.
that's a massive. Now I can see why you keep it rolling for 2 weeks and you get a lot of stuff done out of it.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys catering and that stuff too as well? Or are you guys just kind of cooking for families and backyard barbecues? Or
I used to, but now it's more. I'll have like some friends that let me do their weddings, just little things, odds and ends on the sides. I don't do full catering. I do pest control, and I don't have time for anything else.
He just kills bugs.
Yeah. Just
Kill
kills bugs. Yeah.
No, we I'll do like a wedding here, like he said, kind of a wedding here and there. Just somebody needs some meat smoked, or I did stuff for a benefit, but nothing. I need a cooker that has 16 pork butts, though. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
it's all meat and sides all at once.
hey, that's quite the accomplishment. I don't know. I might give up the pest control thing and just try to run a catering business instead, but probably pest control probably pays a little bit better, I imagine.
Yeah, it's our bread. It's the bread and butter.
It's the bread and butter.
Well, once this hobby gets going, then we could turn this over to something else. But yeah, right now pest control is the bread and butter.
I love it.
Yeah, there's always bugs moving around. You think about it. I guess it is always in demand.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you have to pick something to cook, not barbecue related, well, barbecue related, but not competition style barbecue, what would be your favorite thing to cook?
Oh man, there's so many things. We like a lot of seafood here at home. We did crab legs the other night, which is my daughter requested. I don't know where she got those fancy taste buds from, but she's definitely got them right. And we do a lot of steaks. There's a video that I put out on the channel that's some beer tacos. Those are pretty good. Like those kind of stewed slow meats I enjoy a lot. I think I'm going to fire up kind of a Dutch oven series here on my YouTube channel because I made some chicken and dumplings for the first time last night. And those were pretty awesome too, right? There's a lot of barbecue is versatile, right? With a fire and the right tools and so a little bit of skill, you can cook anything over a fire, right? And the possibilities are endless, right? So I think one of the first videos that I put on my YouTube channel was my daughter and I. She wanted to make some chocolate cakes, so we made some chocolate lava cakes on her little pink green mountain smoker that she has, and that turned out pretty well. And if you can cook it, man, I'm gonna try to cook it on the smoker. Let's just put it out that way. I don't try to limit myself too much, but yeah, I love everything, man.
That's me. I'll put anything on a cooker. Don't bother me one bit.
Mini donuts.
Except for
mini donuts. Yep.
You can get a fryer happening over a Weber kettle,
Oh no, over the flame.
Mini donuts over the flame? How does that work out?
You're caramelizing the sugars.
But how do you get the donut to like bake up first?
No, just go. They're already baked. Go buy like your powdered sugar ones.
Yeah.
And put them right over the flame. Yeah. And it'll caramelize that sugar and give a grill flavor to it.
Really?
Just trust me.
Well, if you guys see that pop up on my YouTube channel on like a burger, I'll make sure I shout out Addicted to the Q. My head's already spinning, right? I'm not really a donut guy, but that sounds pretty amazing. How did you come up with that idea?
I did comps 20 years ago, and we get tired. I mean, you get tired of every comp. What are you eating? Barbecue.
Yeah.
At some point in time, it's like, what can I do, man? I've reheated Taco Bell soft tacos on a grill.
I love it.
So how much Coors Light was involved?
At that time in my life, quite a bit. But no, I mean, I'm a bacon marshmallow guy. I'll do anything with bacon, anything with marshmallows. If you can grill it, I'm going to figure out how to add it. I'm trying to play in my head how I can do a s'mores on the grill now.
Like a deconstructed s'mores or like a true s'mores or like what?
Like a true full constructed s'mores. Not just do your marshmallow over the fire and then build your s'more like it's going to be pre-built. I'm thinking of doing a bacon weave with your graham cracker, marshmallow, and chocolate, and cook. Holds all that marshmallow.
I think we're losing him a little bit.
I think we're losing him. More fatties, what it sounds like.
I'm here.
There he is. We just can't see him.
Yeah.
There you are.
No, it sounds delicious, man. Like I might have a heart attack after eating it, but I'm about it. I'm about it. If you figure it out.
Hey, it's trying everything. That's me.
Yeah.
I mean, we interviewed Aaron Norris with Tribal Fire Grills. I want to get one of those. Just play around with stuff, have fun.
Yeah. And that's what this is all about, right? Like having fun, bringing your friends along for the adventure, man. That's I love it. That's fantastic.
It's one thing I love about YouTube. There's so many things I'm like, it may be a terrible bust and be the worst thing we've ever eaten in our lives, but we're going to try it and how it turns out.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you guys' YouTube journey. Like I've seen a few of the videos, but just like, how did you guys get hooked up? What's the motivation behind the channel? How do you guys keep it going? How do you guys find the energy to edit this stuff, right? Because for me, that's where I get hung up at, is like I film stuff, and I told them before they started, like, I've filmed content, man. I start putting it together and I'm like, this is trash. I just throw the whole thing away. Like it's tough for me. It's tough for me to like,
I've done it. The whole concept with Addicted to the Q started with the Facebook group, because when I brought my rub brand, Sofa King Awesome Barbecue Rubs, when I was bringing it out, nobody wants you to promote your own stuff anywhere. They want you to sponsor groups and all. Well, forget it. So I started the group going, you can post whatever you want. You want to promote your brand, promote your brand. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be about. Not be selfish, which everyone wants their dollar. Everyone wants their own stuff to get big. Fine. You know what? Why don't we all do it together in one group? There you go. Addicted to the Q.
Nice.
And then
I love it.
Brad came in and I've had this thought in my head with the YouTube, and he mentioned it one day to me, just messaging me. I was like, you know what? I've already been playing with that in my head for months. So not much was out there. I mean, there's a lot out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's 500,000 channels out there, but there wasn't much of like what I just did at the American Royal. Like, what does barbecue mean to you? It's more of, there's the cooking barbecue shows out there. Like, it's all cooking, all cooking, all cooking. Well, with the channel, our thoughts were almost the same of, besides cooking, we want everyone to know what the whole community is about.
Yeah.
So Brad was like, let's do interviews. I'm like, we got to start reaching out to people.
No, I love it, man. This is definitely awesome. And there's definitely some room there for sure.
It's definitely a second job some days. And I'm sure you can tell as doing it yourself. Some days are more taxing than others when you get frustrated about trying to grow and get more stuff out there, and then it's like, do I put stuff out there for the sake of putting stuff out there, or do I make sure? So that's kind of a battle in itself. And we've been around a little over a year. August, I think, was a year, so we're getting there. It just takes time and a following. So
yeah, absolutely. But you guys are doing a great job, man. So keep up. Definitely keep up.
Learning with every video I do.
Yeah. Interviews, cribs. Like, if we catch you at a competition, we want to know what you're cooking on. Check out your trailer. We want everyone to see our channels, not just the cooking channel. It's the full community, the full bang. I mean, restaurant reviews. I mean, Brad he's got one coming out this week, next week.
Probably.
I don't know.
We'll see if I get it edited.
Well, whenever he gets that done, it'll be out. But he did one down in Florida. I'm like, yeah, you're on vacation. I did one when we were on vacation. So it's like, why not? You're on vacation, having fun. You want to check it out? Make a quick video of it.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And it's also a great way to promote like some stuff that you personally love too, right? Which is pretty cool. And you're right. I haven't seen many people that are doing that, right? So that's definitely a cool concept that you got going there, and I applaud you guys for stepping up there and keeping it up, man. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Brian, do you have any more questions for him?
Yeah, you said you like to cook. What do you do as a profession? Are you a chef, or is that just like a hobby?
Yeah, chef is definitely a hobby. I am a tech nerd. So I build cloud platforms is what my day job is. So I'm a consultant, and they like a gun for hire, so to speak. So my consulting firm that I work for just sends me to people that need things with my skill set, and then I help to facilitate whatever they need so they can get projects off the ground that they need done. So pretty cool job, but definitely not as passionate about that as I am about barbecue, and trying to find ways to escape the rat race, as I call it, on the daily, and do more barbecue. But also, I've got to be really very real that barbecue doesn't pay the bills at all. So I gotta keep doing the day job until it does.
Yeah. have you? Go ahead.
Unless you find that secret way for it to pay the bills, and I haven't found it yet. I mean, to me, it costs way more than I make out of it.
$1.5 billion Powerball.
Is that what that is up to now?
That's about
something like that. Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Man. I don't know if I won that much money. I don't even know what I'd do with it. Like, I would think I would just barbecue more. Yeah, I don't know. That's some life-changing money for someone for sure. But with my luck, probably should just leave the $1 in my pocket or $3 or whatever the ticket costs, and buy more briskets or something. Right? We all need more brisket money.
No, that's more than $1.
Yeah, for sure.
So next question. I love potatoes on a grill.
Mm-hmm.
And I have now done almost every possible volcano potato you can imagine, including a dessert one. Have you ever done a dessert one?
I've never done a dessert potato. I'm curious to hear how that worked out for you. But one thing that I accidentally did the other night is we were making, what was it? Oh, it was with the crab that we were making. She wanted red mashed potatoes with it. But I accidentally, I put them in my food processor because I was lazy for all of their intents and purposes, with all the garlic and the butter and the cream. And I accidentally made this potato puree that was pretty damn good. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is try to cook a caveman style steak over potato puree with a little bit of demi-glace. Not really potato centric, but it sounds pretty good in my head and fancy. And sometimes you want to eat some fancy stuff. But tell me about this dessert potato. I'm definitely curious about
that. I did a video on it. It's sweet potato.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we grilled it, we wrapped it in bacon, cooked it till the bacon was done. But the ingredients were marshmallow, butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon.
That sounds.
And then good. All I did was heat that up real quick, 30 seconds. Just stirred it to where the butter and marshmallow became like a liquid with everything. Poured it in the potato, and then it hardens up to a stickiness. And then you just cut it with a fork. It's like yams. It is freaking phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to give that one a shot. I'll have to find that video and see if I can recreate that.
My father-in-law was in town, and they love sweet potatoes. So I was like, I'm going to do this for them as sweet potato casserole, whatever, for the holidays, because people put marshmallows on it and all that. So I did it as a volcano potato, and then you'll see my little bacon wrapped marshmallows, which you got to do that too, because that will blow your kid's mind. They're like, ooh, bacon and marshmallow. But then when they eat it, it's that saltiness from the bacon. Yeah. It's that sweetness from the marshmallow. It's game on. Guarantee you they'll eat 3 or 4.
And then the free hospital visit afterwards. From the
So bacon and marshmallow, I want to know what haven't you put bacon and marshmallow on? Have you put it on everything? Like fish? What haven't you put it on?
Not fish. I've got some other bacon ideas coming up. Well, I told you one of them, but I've got some other ideas that I've been playing with. I'm gonna do the guinea pig run first, just to see if they will cook, and if they will, and it work out. Then we'll do one with the taste testing, and I might get a couple like do a video where you have like your bloopers.
Yeah, just do a kamikaze style, right? Just fire it up and just see what happens and let
do it. We're gonna try this.
Yeah, I love it, man. Like,
might do that.
I think those are the videos that speak to me the most. Is just because when somebody's out there just trying their all, man, and you could tell when it's not going to work out, right? But they're still going after it, man. I enjoy it because that's real, and I think that with the community that definitely reaches people because we all make mistakes, man, and it's nice to see that everything doesn't have to be perfect. After I just said I'm a perfectionist, but I need to eat my own words there a little bit, but yeah, for sure, that's awesome.
My hardest video was shooting one with my son, and we were grilling burgers and letting it go and letting him grill it and make his own mistakes. And we had one fall off the grill that the dog got to eat because it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like freaking out, but I'm like, hey, whatever. I'll show it like it is. It is what it is. And
yeah, for sure. That's cool. Kids cooking with the kids is awesome, man. And we do quite a bit of cooking with Hazel at home. Like we made chili tonight, and she made the cornbread, and just it's nice because it's just it's time together. It's something she enjoys. It's something I enjoy, and it's nice to teach them how to cook because I feel like a lot of people in my age group either they didn't have an interest in cooking or they just skipped that altogether, right? And we are a takeout or a meal in a box kind of a community, which sucks, right? Because there's so much joy in cooking.
Yeah, it's that home ec class in school that I'm like, we cook cookies every day. When are we supposed to learn something else?
Oh, I remember home ec. Do they still have that in high school? It's been so long.
Ours does, and my oldest is like, all we cooked was cookies. I'm like, that's all I cooked.
So they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you want mac and cheese? Mac and cheese is the easy. There's your box right there.
Yeah,
that's exactly how it is.
Dude, my kid won't even eat my mac and cheese. He says it's too rich.
But that's the best ones, though. The ones that we cook on the grill and smokers. I mean, those are the best.
She doesn't like it, man. She's like, I don't know. I put too much expensive cheese in it or something. She's not about it, man. So I have to make it when she's not around.
Dehydrator and dehydrate your cheese into a powder, and then that way she'll eat it.
That sounds. I'll just go buy the Kraft from the store
and then put it in the white package, so you'll never know the difference.
Yeah. Just pretend like I'm making an expensive one and just craft it up. No, that's an interesting idea. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you said you cooked 20 years ago. So are you not cooking anymore, or you cook a little bit? I know I've seen you out. Like I've seen Sofa King off.
I come out. Yeah. Yeah, I come out. I walk around. Brad and I, we do like the American Royal Backyard down in KC Mo. We were up at the Invitational under Black Sheep Backyard, but technically T-Dogs, but it's a four team group that we kind of put together to have fun at some of those bigger events, just to enjoy ourselves. Because my thing for getting out was similar to what you went through 2 weeks ago. Just the whole fiasco of everything. I was like, we're done. We did Great American Barbecue way back in the day, which was when the American Royal, some of the higher ups split off. They had a big argument, created Great American Barbecue. That only lasted like 3 or 4 years, and then they were done. But it was just it just got to one of those things, and then my oldest kid at the time, being away, and now 20 years later, just have fun. I just want to have fun when I go out there.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that for sure. So who's on what other teams do you guys have on the on that little team that you guys put together for the bigger groups?
Who is it? T-Dogs and what's Tom's name?
Working Fidiculous.
Rucking Fidiculous.
Some of the backyard team names, man, they're crazy. They're crazy.
That
Man.
one cracks me up.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh, that's awesome.
Some of them, half the
Ruck-
time, people that don't listen to a barbecue will hear the awards at contests and they just start laughing. And
They don't get it, man. They just they don't get it. Like I make a habit to like try and invite a friend or two out to competitions that are local here in Minnesota, and they just like they're like jaws on the ground the whole time because they see some of the rigs and they see some of like all the things that happen, and then they get to awards and they hear some of the names and you're just like, how is this even possible? But it's cool, man. It's you definitely got to have a passion for it and a love for it, and it is unfortunate that things happen like they did 2 weeks ago, but we can't let that. You can't let that, in my opinion, deter you, right? We have to.
No.
You kind of have to. I put out there, like we have to trust them that they're going to fix it and make those investments and show us that they're actively working towards a solution. And that way we can continue doing what we love, right? So, because if I wasn't doing this, man, I've asked some people this year. If it wasn't barbecue that I was doing, I don't really have a great answer as to what else I would be doing, right? I don't think I have the passion about any of my other hobbies. I like to ice fish in the wintertime, and but barbecue is definitely a passion, and I enjoy getting out there and cooking. And it would be a shame if that went away, for me. But I should ask you guys that question: what would you guys be doing if it wasn't barbecue?
Well, I surely wouldn't be in Minnesota snowboarding.
Minnesota would be a horrible state for snowboarding. We've got like
that's too cold.
It's not that bad. We put you in a warm suit and some big old boots, man. You'd be just fine. Just nice and toasty.
what would I be doing? Probably yelling at kids more. Does that count? I mean, I don't know what I'd be.
Florida
with my
beach.
kids.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good question for me. My hobbies are all over the board. I mean, I don't know, taking the kids on more vacations, traveling around. I mean, that's something we love to do. So
yeah,
we still do that.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I love about barbecue is we do get to see a lot of cool little spots, little towns around the country, right?
Yeah.
Like we actually stayed in one of the hotels down in Excelsior Springs this year, and that was absolutely cool. My daughter enjoyed it. And just
did you do Excelsior Springs this year?
I did. We RGC'd Excelsior Springs this year. It was awesome.
Nice.
They have the sweetest trophies, like this little airplane that's this way.
Yep.
That way.
Yep.
Yeah. So
flying on the river.
Yeah, man. That's the trophies are awesome.
Was it? Oh, go ahead.
Excelsior Springs is kind of an old town. It's kind of interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah. Was it in town this year, or was it at the airport again?
For the last 2 years, it's been downtown. And Jim and the team do an awesome job of getting everybody in there, getting them parked. They do kids queues, and this year they had a Black Hawk helicopter down there for the kids to climb all over, which was pretty awesome. They did like a little scavenger hunt so you can go and explore through town. We obviously spent some time at the pool because we had the hotel, which was awesome, and all the barbecue content guys that come down there are pretty cool, like those teams and things. So we had a great time, man. We'll keep going down to that one because that's only about a 6.5 hour drive for us. So as long as they keep having us back and that contest keeps cracking off, man, we'll keep making that trip. But that's definitely one of our favorites.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one.
So what's your favorite contest to cook of all of them?
Oh man, it depends, right? So I categorize cooks or contests as two cooks. There are cooks contests where there is no public interaction. You just show up to a parking lot or a field, and it's just all the cooks, our little community, and we just hang out and just cook. My favorite one for that is definitely Bringing Home the Bacon. Lori Tweeten and Keith Tweeten put that on up here in June, I believe it is, the second weekend of June. But it's at a beautiful campground that's on the lake. They've got a pool. The kids kind of all get their bikes and just gang up and they just ride around all day. They've got a kids queue. It's a double. It just checks all the boxes. It's the beginning of summer. It's usually a beautiful weekend. It's just a great family vacation and a good time. That one's definitely one we'll continue going to. And that's in the kind of the cooks category because there's no public involvement other than the other campers that might be around wandering around and then just poking their head in here and there. The other ones are the ones that obviously have the public involvement in it. Excelsior Springs is a great one, but all-time favorite is Hill City. We've gone to Hill City the last two years. We've been quite successful out there, which makes it nice. But I think the thing that I love about it most is there's a People's Choice event. You serve your People's Choice. They split they give you $1 for every token that you bring in, so you go home with a little bit of gas money, even if you don't do well out there. Obviously there's Mount Rushmore out there. There's hot springs. There's all kinds of stuff to do around, and the community is simply awesome, and the views are pretty cool as well. So that's probably one of my favorites. And then Excelsior Springs is one of my others. There's so many out there, man, and we have so many fun at all of them. And there's something about every contest that we love, right? But those two definitely are at the top of the list.
Yep. There's one in Georgia I want to check out. Can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up.
Wine, the one in March, I think I might
starts
know
with
one.
a swine or something like that.
Sipping Swine.
Sipping Swine.
Yeah.
Was that just here
Sipping
a couple
Swine.
weeks ago? Was that here a couple weeks ago, or is that earlier in the year?
Well, a guy out in Florida just told me about it. He's like, "That's something you need to check into because it's like a big festival type thing." I like the festival types where you can talk to the community out there and just you get to know the people in their towns and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have made some connections. Like, there's a contest that we go to in State Center, Iowa, and we park in front of the same lady's house every year. And she comes out, she says hello. Like, she's always offered us, because we don't have showers, so she's like, "Yes, you can always shower here if you want." But we've never taken her up on it. But the community around that contest is just absolutely awesome.
Slab of ribs, free shower.
Hey man, to be honest with you, we don't want to eat barbecue after when it gets to be that time of the season, so we slough off as much of that stuff as possible. So she often has a pile of barbecue on her front step if she's not home when we're rolling out. It's always great, man. When the community's involved and the community buys in and the contest is well run, those are the contests that survive, and those are the contests that get the turnout, and those are the contests that we keep wanting to go back to. So it makes it great.
I always say I don't want anything but barbecue on the way home or anywhere near leaving a barbecue contest. The last thing I want is anything to do with barbecue.
What's your go-to meal after a barbecue contest?
Pizza, usually.
Pizza. Yeah.
Pizza? Oh, see, I can't even handle pizza. I'm like a Chick-fil-A salad guy now for some reason. I don't even I almost sometimes ask them to leave the chicken out of it. I don't want another bite of meat. Nothing warm, something cold, man. Ice cream's always good, but not
ice cream is good.
Yeah. But no, I definitely don't want any meat after a barbecue contest weekend. That's for sure. Yeah.
So, Brian, do you have any other questions for him before I let him get back to his night?
Just figure out some marshmallow and bacon recipes, and I'll cook them up for you.
Man, I'm gonna shig the heck out of your channel, and I'm gonna cook all of them. I do make a sweet potato souffle, and after this conversation, I'm thinking about in the strudel that's on top. That's usually I have brown sugar and butter, obviously, and I use oats and pecans in there. I'm thinking about maybe I need to put some bacon in there because you might be onto something, and maybe do a little marshmallow drizzle.
I was gonna say, add a little marshmallow.
Yeah, a little marshmallow drizzle, make it chef it up a little bit. Yeah. Sounds. Yeah, I'm having the whole family up this year for Thanksgiving, so they might be guinea pigs for bacon marshmallow delights. So we'll see what we can come up with.
Just be like, this guy Brian, he's weird about this marshmallow and bacon thing.
Yeah. How did that come about? You just do you have
It's my head. I mean, what was it? Beginning of the time when we were starting this channel, I was in Virginia at my brother's, and we were cutting down trees and had a big bonfire and doing hot dogs and marshmallows over the bonfire. And I started barbecue rub on the marshmallow, roasted on the fire, and it was amazing. I was like, that just took a marshmallow up a notch. Ever since then, it was like, what can I do with marshmallows? And then it was like, But I love bacon. Let's just combine this stuff. Now, what can we do with both?
You know what you need is a bacon marshmallow rub.
Ooh. I wonder how we dehydrate.
Hey,
I
man.
know how we dehydrate marshmallows. I do dehydrate marshmallows. It's a good little dry snack. Trust me. It's nuts.
It's good. You come up with that bacon marshmallow rub, we'll figure out something to put it on. Deal?
Sofa King's new rub, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yes, that'll be my tuxedo rub.
Your tuxedo rub? How many tell me real quick, tell me about the rubs that you have out on the market, and what you're using them for, where you've had success with them, or what your favorite is even.
Okay, I got the original and the hot and bothered. The hot and bothered is your original, only hot. That's like your all-purpose.
Mhm.
You got Twisted Texas. Obviously, it's a play between KC and Texas. It's beef and chicken. You got our Mexican rub, which, I mean, fajitas, things like that, tacos, which I use all the time on tacos here. Pineapple chipotle, which is great for pork and ramen noodles, just because that chipotle in it. But I use that pork and ribs consistently, and I mix that with a base layer of our top secret dust, which is designed for your pork products, ribs and butts. I mean, I that's always on mine at every competition. What else do I have? My smoked seasoning salt, which is just I mean, it's a seasoning salt. It's not a rub, but it is the crack of seasoning salts.
Yes.
And then our hot one, which is phenomenal, which is our Thai Dragon. That was designed for chicken wings without the hot sauce. So you just throw it on, cook them. It's going to light your mouth up, and you eat them dry.
Really? Cool. Where do I grab them? Uh-oh. Did we lose him again?
You there? There he is. Can we hear you?
Yeah, I had to echo. I had to get rid of that.
No worries. No, I was asking you where do I go pick them up, right? Because I've seen you guys out at comps, but I haven't crossed. This is the first time we've crossed paths, but it sounds like you've got some pretty cool things happening out there. So I want to make sure I can get some of it, give them a shot.
Message me and we'll hook up on direct messenger. That saves you taxes.
My man, I like it.
More money in my pocket too. Not at a store. No offense to all the stores that I'm in. But no, what we got like 15 awards in the last 3 years, and I just sent off for another rub contest. I got NBBQA coming up that we're going to ship off to. So I'm hoping to push this up to about 20 awards by next spring.
Oh, congrats, man! That's awesome. That's a testament to your hard work. So keep it up. But have you ever been to the actual NBBQA conference at all? Have you checked that out? I'm curious to.
Yeah, we went down last year. It was a blast. I'm going this year. San Antonio. Last year was Orlando, and I tried getting down there by myself because it would have been cheaper for a hotel room and a flight. And then my wife found out the conference was 2 blocks from the entrance to Disney. So that went from $1,000 to $7,000 real fast.
Yep.
Sounds like fun.
This year, that's what we did. It was like, oh man. But this year, San Antonio, and we're all planning on going just because we've never been, and we're gonna make a vacation out of it. And they have their SCA contest down there. All kinds of speakers come in. Brad and Brooke with the Shed are always there. Oh man. Well, Cosmos Q guys, is it Dave? He's always there.
Darren.
Darren Sucklebusters is always there. They're speaking. They're just giving you insights on things. My side for like commercially made products and distributions and things like that. But then we also have conferences on cooking, and it's 4 days of fun.
Man, so it sounds like something I should probably put on the list to hit up at some point, huh?
I would.
Yeah.
I came back and I was like, if you haven't gone, you have to go at least once.
Yeah. No, I've always known about it, and I knew it was kind of centric toward the guys that were looking to make barbecue more of a business. So maybe if I want to get out of the rat race, I should probably go check it out and see if I can figure something out, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, they have I don't know, it's a round table where you talk to like 20 of the guys that are in the business that have made money in the business that do this professionally. It got me started thinking of where I need to be. Right now it's hard distribution wise with me doing that because I have all my focus with our main business and working full time. Well, once I hire a couple more guys, I can back out and focus on the barbecue side and let them work for me and make the money.
Yeah. No, sounds like a plan, man. I like it. That's very cool. I'll put it
So,
on the list. Awesome. How long have you been making rubs? Or how long have you been?
We're starting our 4th year now.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. I'll be looking for that marshmallow bacon, man.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out when I dehydrate. I'll pull the dehydrator out. We'll do the marshmallows again because I do those every winter.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, they're just hard little marshmallows, but you put them in their mouth and they like disintegrate. So
if you
I'll
need
do
a
it.
guinea pig, I'll give you my address.
Dehydrate marshmallows in a spice grinder.
Yeah, you need some barbecue rubs. Send me your PM and address and all that.
Yeah, you got it, man.
And then you'll get a bottle of dehydrated marshmallow.
What's the bacon, right? And like maybe
I got to figure that bacon out, but yes, I got to figure that out.
You can get I think you can get bacon extract, right? In like powder form or something. There's got to be out there.
Oh, I'm gonna start researching as soon as we get off the phone tonight. It's a rabbit hole, and I hate rabbit holes because it'll be like a 1 a.m. bed calling for me just to turn around and get up at 5. But Brad is gonna get this message by this week, and like I think I got it. I'm messaging Machete Boys, and
I love it, man. I love it. Coming soon to a table near you. Bacon, marshmallow, pork ribs, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you for coming on for sure.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Definitely.
This was great. Loving it every time, man. You guys are doing an awesome job. Keep up the good work. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Like I said, thank you for coming on. Enjoy your rest of your night.
Yeah, I will do. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys down the road.
Have a good one.
Bye.